Hey guys, it's Danny, finally back from my little quote-unquote vacation. And I decided to start slow, as always, whenever I'm gone for a period of time because I'm lost. I don't know what's going on around me. But I thought today I could show you my wedding bouquet, which I have right here, you can see right here, and also look at some orchids that have been doing stuff while I was gone. I wasn't really gone, I just really didn't have time to really care for them and look at them and examine them like I usually do. But yeah, hope you'll enjoy today's video, and from now on I'll definitely try to be a little bit more consistent. But oh boy, the chores that have piled up, it's not nice. I'm not looking forward for this week, but anyway, things must get done. So before we start, don't forget to give this video a like if you end up enjoying it. Why not subscribe? It is free, but if you're feeling extra about it, consider further supporting this channel by becoming a member, or using the affiliate links down below, or checking out the merch, or using the super thanks option again down below my videos. Righty, let us start. I'm gonna start with this guy. I don't have a proper vase, so he is very beautifully displayed in a beer jar. But anyway, yeah, this has been my bouquet. Very simple, very light colored. The whole theme of like the flower arrangements in the wedding was very whimsical. Nothing very punchy color-wise, no red roses, nothing of the sorts. Everything was in pale pastels, lavenders, pinks, and so on. The flower arrangements actually had a little bit more peach in them. They had some peach roses as well. Nothing in my bouquet. I wanted it very simple. So I have some very light colored lavender, I would say, roses, and of course, orchids. And well, don't expect NoID and stuff. Those are not being sold as cut flowers. They're not in stock as cut flowers, and I did not find a NoID to stuck in here. It wouldn't have worked anyway. But I do have some white Phalaenopsis. My birds have just woken up. So I have some white Phalaenopsis and also some white dendrobiums here, which is very nice, very sweet. I think it made for a really nice, whimsical, simple bouquet. One thing I noticed is that the more glittery I go with stuff, the worse I look. I get faded. So I didn't want stuff to overshadow me. Went from some eucalyptus, I think this is eucalyptus, right? It smells so nice, and it's very popular and common right now. And yeah, that's about it. This is the bouquet. Very simple, very nice. As I was saying, I don't like things to overshadow me, and I discovered it's easy to overshadow me somehow. But I have to say I really liked the flower arrangements. Sadly, we got them home. They didn't last all that well because it's hot. Now, we chose this time of the year because we thought, hey, it's autumn. It's gonna be a little cooler, it's gonna be nice. You know what happened? Like the past week, a heat wave came, and you know how hot it was? 40 degrees C. I'm gonna put the Fahrenheit on the screen. Might as well get married in August, I mean, at this point. So the flowers didn't last all that long. I'm getting hot as I talk right now, and it's not 5, it's 6 at this point, 6 in the morning. It's hot, I can't, I want autumn. Oh my goodness, you guys, I can't. I'm so done with summer. So yeah, this has been the bouquet. I'll see what pictures I might have with some flower arrangements. If I don't have, excuse me, I did not have my phone with me. I did not want to sit on my phone on that day. So the phone was left in a different room in my purse. I did not have it. And we're gonna see what pictures people send me, but I did not want to be distracted. And it was so good, I did not miss it. It was great to have a break from my phone. But with that said, let us now turn our attention to the orchids, because I have a few things that my orchids did and I want to show you. Caught me a little bit off guard. I need to water the orchids and I might discover more, but I'm just gonna show you the stuff that I already saw. It's so hard to get in the rhythm again. I had a week of not waking up early in the morning and it was the best. But now I'm back to waking up at 5:30. Okay, so first off, this beauty has bloomed again like clockwork. This is one of those cattleyas that blooms once a year, but when it does bloom, it's absolutely worth the wait. And the whole struggle, because she's a big girl, look at that, she takes up a lot of space. This is the amazing Thailand. Oh my goodness. Easily one of my favorite cattleyas. She's one of those big fluffy types of cats that have enormous flowers and smell really nice. It's a little early, but we're already smelling like citrus, maybe like oranges, things of the sorts. Very beautiful. Throughout the day, the smell kind of changes. It takes on another dimension. One of the things that I absolutely love about Cattleyas is this beautiful fragrance. This one has, in my opinion, a typical type of fragrance if you know Cattleyas, but what makes it super special is the flower. Look at that coloration. It looks so tropical, so beautiful. It is a hybrid, but it's a fine hybrid in my opinion. They got it right with this one. The sheath is enormous as well. I think I can show you on this side. I knew it had a sheath, but it bloomed really, really fast. So the buds developed in this sheath. Oh, I was about to drop it. The buds developed in this sheath really quickly. Like one day I saw the sheath that was plumping up and I got excited, and the other day, literally yesterday, the other day, it was in bloom. So it moves fast, which is great, but the growth pattern is slow. Typically it produces one new growth per year, and with this one you have to be careful when you repot. It needs repotting, but I'm afraid it's full of roots. It needs repotting because the medium is broken down as well. We have to be careful when we repot these types of orchids with very, very specific growth, and especially Cattleyas, because they don't really handle repotting very, very well, root-wise. The best time to repot is when you see new roots starting to form, because you know that even if the older roots will fade away, which is very likely to happen, you're gonna have new roots very fast. So the orchid will not get so dehydrated that it will be severely set back and even gone. So yeah, when I'm gonna repot it, maybe I'm gonna take you along and talk a little bit more about these Cattleyas, which are just sensitive. But this is a crown jewel Cattleya. So yeah, amazing Thailand. If you ever see it for sale, even as a seedling, and you find the price okay and you can wait, I think it's worth the wait. It's one of those that I think will not disappoint. I would go for clones. Here's the thing, I'm gonna stay on the subject a little bit. We had this discussion before. There was a trend a few years ago to get seedlings and be surprised about the flowers, because when you have seedlings, orchids obtained from seeds from the same parents, the seedlings don't really look the same amongst each other. It's like having brothers and sisters, but at the same time. They're not supposed to be identical. So it's fun to see what did you get. But at the same time, it can be also very disappointing, because obtaining a good hybrid takes a lot of work and takes a lot of selectiveness, I guess. So if you want this exact look, I would go for something that says it's a Mary clone or clone. It has been obtained from tissue culture, because that's guaranteed to look the same. If you Google this orchid on the internet, you'll see flowers that don't really look identical to this, or look just maybe slightly different but still beautiful, but others that look nothing like this, and they can be disappointing. So that's my advice. I always like to go for clones. I don't like surprises when it comes to this. If I want an orchid to surprise me, I'll go for it, but if I want an orchid to look identical to what I think it looks, then I go for clones. Righty, let's move on. I blabbed enough, but I missed blabbing. All right, next up, surprise, surprise, we have an Angraecum bud. I know, right? I was not expecting this. This is Angraecum magdalenae. This is a historical orchid, not this one, but the actual species. And when I say historical for me, because if I'm not mistaken, I think this was amongst the first ever Angraecums that I had. I had the Sesquipedale, but I also had this one. I'm not sure which one came first, maybe the Sesquipedale. But at some point, when I was back in Romania, I received from an orchid friend, somebody on the forum that I was on back in the day, I received an Angraecum magdalenae, and I had it for quite a while. It was much tinier than this. It was a small seedling. Had it quite a while, sadly lost it. I don't even remember to what. Maybe spider mites, maybe to the move here. I don't remember, but I lost it. And I really, really liked it. The plant itself looks very nice. It has this beautiful bluish tint. It has a powdery look to it. Now, this powderiness has a purpose. It deflects water. It doesn't actually get wet. If you put a droplet of water on the leaf, it's just gonna slide right off. It's not gonna get the plant wet, and it will naturally avoid crown rot and other diseases associated with pools of water sitting in crowns and joints and stuff. So it has a natural defense, which happens to look beautiful as well. So I always kind of wanted this one again, but the thing with the magdalenae is that you never find it at a mature stage. This one is older in my collection as well. It was much tinier when I got it. So I have had this particular species on and off for the past 10 years or so. I think before I started my YouTube channel, I think she sold, because I remember she sold her orchids because she really needed the money, and I bought the orchids from her. I think before I started my YouTube channel, if not in the year that I started my YouTube channel. But this is the first ever time when I see a bud and hopefully a flower, fingers crossed nothing happens to it. Not really interested to expand my Angraecum collection, but I really wanted this one. I got it, it's gonna bloom, very happy about it, so hopefully nothing will happen to the bud. But this developed while I was gone. Next up, here we have some beautiful Doritis pulcherrimas, currently reclassified as Phalaenopsis. They don't really look much like a Phalaenopsis. They might look like a combination between a phal and a Paphiopedilum, I guess. But anyway, they're phals now. So you might have known this one, which bloomed a while back. It's still going strong and blooming, but the flower spike really got top heavy. And I let it be because I typically prefer pendant flower spikes. It's a little out of the frame. But look at these tiny ones. They have bloomed as well, and aren't they a disappointment? So first off, this one should kind of be exactly like this one, is it? Actually, this one is a 4N variety. This is the Doritis variety Marmorata. This is the 4N. Typically these guys can be larger, have larger flowers or different features, better features. And this one is not a 4N, so flower-wise there is a difference. Size-wise there is a difference too, but maybe this one is young. I do not see other flower spikes in the past, so it might be a first flowering. But it bloomed and it's a pale lavender color. This one is a bright magenta color. And this one I kind of expected it to be pink, which is fine. I really like it, and especially the foliage. I really adore the foliage on these guys. As I was saying, they look a little bit like a path, right? Very pretty. This one though is a little bit of a disappointment. I still love you, do not worry, but you're not who I thought you were. This is where I was saying, if you can go for clones, go for clones, because this is not a clone of anything. This is the Champarensis variety, which if you Google it, you know what it should be? Should be that nice peloric version that has more yellow to the flower. It has a white flower with more yellow. First off, it is not white, it is not completely white. If you look at the petals, you can see a shimmer of pink in them. That's one. Second, it is not peloric. So it doesn't have that beautiful contrasty yellow and white pattern that I really am looking for so many years and I cannot get my hands on. And also the lip has a pink sheen to it as well. I still like it, I still think it's very charming. Look at that, how beautiful it is. But I was expecting somebody else, is what I'm saying. So this one, ceiling, I'm almost convinced of it. If I do want that particular variety that I want, I need to look for a Mary clone. And yeah, it's a little harder to come by, and if sites don't specify it, I don't know. This could have very well been a Mary clone, but if they don't specify it, I would not know. Luckily, Schroeder does specify, so I'm gonna keep an eye out for it. What's another Doritis to my collection? I already have 5. These are the Doritis. They look very lovely. I'm just still looking for that one that I simply cannot find. None of them are peloric, as you can see, but they are very charming. I'm not gonna complain all that much. I like them. It's just that when I really want to get my hands on something and it doesn't happen for years in a row, it's a little frustrating. Right, let's move on. What else can I show you? Alright, here's another one that I thought I messed up. So I'm gonna first show you the crown. First of all, no, I'm going to tell you what this is. This is an Aerangis articulata. I cannot say I have a lot of luck with Aerangises. Some of them really like moisture. Some don't really like the heat. Some don't really like my setups. It's a hit and miss for me with some Aerangises. If they're very tiny, they're very hard to manage watering-wise. I'm always either too dehydrated, either too much water. I can never get it like in between. I will focus on them maybe when I have a little bit more time to focus on them. But anyway, this is one that actually went well. The problem is the thrips love it. I don't know what it is about it, but they love it. They love to munch on it. So you can see some damage here, but also, worst of all, they attacked the crown, and the new leaf is done. I sprayed it a little bit, maybe I oversprayed it, maybe the thrips ate it, I don't know. It was either me or them. We destroyed the crown. Together, we joined forces. And I was a little bit bummed about it because this orchid is producing something here. It's not a root, it could be one of two things: a flower spike, which would be very exciting, or a keiki. Now, considering the crown was damaged, I thought, it's a keiki for sure. But I saw something interesting lately. The crown is not destroyed, it's just that tiny first leaf. The crown itself is good, because now I see a brand new green leaf sprouting from the crown. You know what this means? It means the orchid maybe has not been triggered into producing a lateral shoot because the crown was damaged. So this, my friends, can very well be a flower spike. I can hope now. I have some reasons to hope now, which is great. Aerangises have beautiful white flowers that are typically fragrant in the nighttime, just like Angraecums, and I'm hoping it will do good for now because it is actually doing okay in my environment, this particular species. So yeah, very exciting to see when it blooms. And again, I think it was triggered by that little dip in temperature that we had like a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago in September. And lastly, my oncidiums are also producing flower spikes. I don't have many oncidiums left yet again because they were severely attacked by thrips, and it was so overwhelming that I decided to just start off with a blank slate, since most of them were severely damaged. And yeah, getting them back to health was really not an easy task. Some of them were already gone away, but the ones that I still have, they're okay. Currently, I'm gonna clean up this rootstock. I wanna give them a rootstock for themselves. They have been in a rootstock up until now, but I need to clean it. Anyway, the two that I'm showing you here, oh, this one needs water. Excuse the shriveliness, I didn't have time. This one, I don't know what it is. It's a NoID, but it's one of those Odontoglossum looking like orchids. I wrote here red and pink, so it's a nice combination between red and pink. It's one of those that I've always dreamed of, so I really hoped that it will do okay, and it did. It was protected from pests. They, for me, are very sensitive to pests since they don't have a very thick leaf. Maybe they're tasty as well, who knows. I think this is done. But I can see the new growths both have, oh, I can show you on this one. They have flower spikes. I actually give you close-ups, you don't see from there. So they both have flower spikes. This one has one flower spike, maybe two, no, just one. And this one has one flower spike as well. So that's great. And this guy is my very famous at this point, needs a repot, Howeara lava burst. We have 3 growths this year, and look at the spikeage on this guy. We have one spike here, another spike here. These are 2 growths, and this growth, which is the bigger one, has 2 spikes. Do you remember the last flowering of this one? It had beautifully long flower spikes. I did not know they can branch out and they can be so long. This is the best flowering oncidium that I have ever had, and it's really easy to grow. One thing I would not do with this guy is experiment on. I have this plant for a lot of years at this point, but I tried to grow it in like a self-watering, you know, my old experiments. Did not enjoy that. Brink of going over the rainbow so many times. But in the past few years, I decided not to experiment anymore. Put it always in a combination of moss and bark. It really likes moss. I had it in full moss as well. I loved it. It's a very thirsty orchid, so moss definitely helps it out, particularly in my environment. But yeah, I got the magic formula and it's doing great. Very rewarding plant. Highly recommend it to everybody. Just don't play around too much with it. It doesn't really appreciate weird setups. It appreciates moisture though. So that has been it for today. Really lovely to be back and blab again about my favorite things. I'm gonna start posting more on my second channel, some aquarium stuff. I have stuff to show you. But yeah, slowly but surely, I still have a lot of stuff to catch up with, but we're gonna get back to the routine. How have you been? How are your orchids? Are you all doing okay? I hope you're all okay, and I hope you had a great summer. It's October. Summer is long gone, but for me it's not, it's still hot. So I hope you had a good time, and yeah, good to be back. So alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. Oh, by the way, check out my second channel for aquarium stuff if you want to, but for orchid stuff and maybe some other plants, stick around on this channel, subscribe, and with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!